Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. As a business owner, you might be struggling with today's technological advancements in the IT arena and how they could benefit your growing business. Let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
The new rebranded Matt Smith Modern Realty.
Well, Matt Smith Outdoors was really reflective of how I started my real estate journey, taking my outdoor experience, moving that into the real estate space to help people buy and sell land. So many people in this region ended up calling me and wanting me to work with them to help them buy and sell homes. This new brand was more reflective of what I'm delivering to people in this region every day.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like peace of mind, knowing our lakes will be better protected by placing Line 5 in the Great Lakes Tunnel. And that we've added extra safety measures while we work to build it, because we're committed to keeping the Great Lakes safe for generations to come. Tomorrow is on. Visit enbridge.com/line5 for more information. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes lose.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into the show. Should be a good one today. It's rivalry weekend. Woo-hoo! Michigan versus Michigan State. Do the Pistons and the Rockets tonight? That was once upon a time a rivalry. Does that still count as a rivalry with Jalen Green now off that team? Because I know Cade and Jalen Green had a little bit of a rivalry going there for a long time. He's not there anymore. Is that still a rivalry? We got the Amen and Asar Thompson thing. We've got the well, I guess that's the only factor. Right?
Not a rivalry.
All right. Once upon a time it was. For a few years it was like, oh, you got to kind of get up for these Rockets games. But it feels like the Rockets have, really taken a step further. Pistons, exactly where they were last year. Maybe even taking a step back. Those are takeaways through game one. That's not where we're going to start out the show, though. In fact, I don't know if we'll get to the Pistons, maybe a little bit at the end of the show, but we've got a lot to get to today. Should be a fun show. I do want to start with last night, Thursday Night Football, because I had a thought that creeped into my mind. And look, I loved this Michigan 2023 national championship team. I was a fan once upon a time. I liked rooting for J.J. McCarthy. I think every single week of that season, I bet on Michigan money line plus Blake Corum touchdown. Made me a lot of money that year, and I'll forever be thankful for that. But I did have a thought, and I wanted to know if Michigan fans felt the same way. Because I predicted J.J. McCarthy was going to have a good NFL season, right? I predicted he'd have a good NFL career because it's with Kevin O'Connell. He's got the best wide receiver in football. All he had to do was run the system, even if he wasn't, necessarily the dynamic creator that you see some of these other NFL stars do. I just needed him to beat Brock Purdy, and I was going to be right. And what's happened the last couple of weeks, whether or not he's hurt, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on. You see him basically leap out of the way to a diving Justin Jefferson to the sideline yesterday. Ankle looks pretty okay. I had a thought last night. And Michigan fans, this one's a little bit more for you. State fans, I'll get to you a little bit later on. But I hope J.J. McCarthy sucks. As a Lions fan, I loved J.J. McCarthy when he was at Michigan. I hope he sucks when he comes back next week against the Lions. And I hope his entire career is terrible. I can't express how much it would help out the Detroit Lions if J.J. McCarthy was just an absolute disaster. Because you're watching Carson Wentz last night just take sack after sack after sack. And then on the flip side of things, you're watching two guys that were on the Minnesota roster last season, and Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, completely ball out for their respective teams this year. Colts, number one scoring offense in the NFL. Seattle, one of the top scoring teams in the NFL as well. Those two guys are studs right now for their respective teams, both of which were there in Minnesota last year. They choose to stick with J.J. McCarthy despite trying to keep Sam Darnold in the building. And as of right now, that looks like an awful personnel decision from them. And if J.J. McCarthy comes back and it's just as bad, and we go into this season thinking, hey, this is win now mode for the Vikings, this is a season to where, they want to just continue taking steps forward after that awesome regular season last year, and then their quarterback ends up stinking, what kind of implications would that have? Are they willing to just burn that first-round pick and use a first-round pick on another quarterback next season? Are they going to run it back thinking anything would be different, and then they're just bad again next season? Because you and I were both very high on the Vikings going into the season, and now I'm sitting at this thing halfway through or about halfway through. I'm like, you know what? It would actually benefit the Lions if J.J. McCarthy sucked and was terrible, and it looks like one of the worst mistakes an NFL franchise has made over the past 5 seasons. If he's bad, how frustrated does Justin Jefferson get? Going into next season, Minnesota already has one of the most expensive rosters in the NFL. If this ends up being the wrong decision for the Minnesota Vikings to stick with J.J. McCarthy, this could backfire on them in a way that is detrimental to their franchise. And as a Lions fan and someone who rooted for Michigan, thanks for what you did for this state. If he's terrible every game the rest of his career, I'd be happy.
Well, I think the main reason why they potentially regret it currently has nothing to do with JJ himself. It's all to do with what Sam Darnold is doing out in Seattle, right?
And Daniel Jones, for that matter.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if it was ever realistic that Daniel Jones was going to return to Minnesota and actually be the starter for them. He never really got any snaps as a Viking. But I get what you're saying. But I also think that they probably don't fully regret this yet, right? I mean, JJ hasn't gotten the chance to prove himself. He's just been injured. It's not like he has been playing and it has been bad. He's just been injured. That game 1 against Chicago, he looked fine. They had a comeback win, and he got it done. Game 2 against Atlanta, which was also on prime time. Kind of funny how both of his first 2 games were. That stifling Atlanta defense got to him, and then he was done after that. Like, we haven't gotten a chance to actually see J.J. McCarthy as the quarterback of the Vikings yet. So I would say that they don't regret it currently. There's a world where they do, for sure. But at this moment in time, I'm with you. I mean, I don't think it matters who you rooted for in college. I've always felt that way. If you're a bigger Lions fan than anything else, then J.J. McCarthy being bad is a good thing.
I don't want to judge a quarterback based on 2 games, but those 2 games that he did play, he was 24 for 41, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 9 sacks, which even if he comes back and is playing decent, seems like that's just a thing for Minnesota this year. That offensive line that they rebuilt over the course of the offseason.
That has been injured all season long.
Yeah, like they've been dealing with a lot of injuries, but it feels like once you get to a certain point, you can get the offensive line as healthy as you want. Like you got to be able to play games together, and that Minnesota offensive line hasn't, and it's been a huge problem, and you saw it come through yesterday right away. Carson Wentz is under pressure every single play last night, it felt like. And McCarthy had a QBR of 23. He was not good in those 2 games. And again, I'm not going to judge a quarterback and say how their career is going to pan out after 2 games, but it wasn't very good. And I don't know, just the juju, right? The feel, the vibe. If you had to get gambling odds of whether or not J.J. McCarthy's career is going to work out in Minnesota, doesn't it feel like right now it's like minus 150? It doesn't. Like plus 140 it
enough
is.
Of it. I mean,
I don't know, man. It's weird right now.
It is weird, and it's the fact that he's been in the league now for a year and a half and has played twice,
Hasn't looked good either time, and now this injury thing. It's weird, dude. It's a lot of red flags involved in it. Because
it's lingered on for much longer than you thought. Like, why would he not have just gone on IR if he was going to miss this amount of time?
Especially because Carson Wentz is bad. It's
and
not like
Carson
you
Wentz
should
is
be
hurt,
rushing
too.
To,
you could add another quarterback. It would have helped you out in that kind of realm of things because, Carson Wentz has clearly been playing injured. You saw that last night. He re-injured that shoulder that he had a robotic cast on 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. And so I also think, though, that Minnesota finds themselves right now in a spot where, yes, you and I thought they were going to be a much better team this season. I don't really regret that prediction because I thought this defense was going to be a lot better than it's been. I thought the offensive line was going to be a lot better than it's been. And I also didn't expect Carson Wentz to start nearly every game for them this season. And so McCarthy we can talk about how bad we think he's going to be or whatever, rooting for that. He's not going to be as bad as Carson Wentz, right? You would just assume that that's going to be an upgrade no matter what. And so then at 3-4 to this point, you would assume that things will improve once McCarthy does return. And, of course, it sounds like that's going to happen against the Lions next week, which is it's kind of exciting that that's the game we're going to get McCarthy back in.
I couldn't be more happy to play Minnesota right now, especially with the Lions coming off the bye, them getting healthier. We've talked about it throughout the course of this week, how much this defensive line gets us excited now that Liam McNeil's back. They better hope J.J. McCarthy's ankle's healthy because he's going to be under duress the entire time. I mean, the Chargers lit Carson Wentz up yesterday. 5 sacks, and it felt like it could have been a lot more.
Yeah. How many McCarthy jerseys do you think are going to be at Ford Field a week from Sunday?
Michigan ones or Vikings
Michigan ones, of course. Will there be more Michigan McCarthy jerseys than Vikings jerseys? Probably, right? I mean, there's probably going to be a ton of them.
I remember there used to be a lot of Kirk Cousins jerseys back when he was with Washington or Minnesota.
Like MSU ones?
No, not even. But
of the NFL team?
Yeah, but that's different because he's from Michigan. He's from the Holland area, so
right.
people gravitate towards that. J.J. McCarthy's not. I mean, he won the Michigan National Championship. However,
yeah, I mean, that's pretty big, I feel like.
Yes, but back when people used to wear Kirk Cousins jerseys to the Lions game, that was also usually when the Lions weren't fighting for anything. Now that the Lions are a perennial powerhouse,
and Kirk
Cousins, we can't have that.
And this is a divisional opponent in the Vikings that clearly, when healthy, should be one of the better teams that is fighting to win the NFC North with you. And if J.J. McCarthy has any sort of ceiling, that's going to unlock that for the Vikings. So I think that's going to be an interesting thing to watch next Sunday.
I'm not saying Lions fans should be throwing drinks at people with J.J. McCarthy Michigan jerseys at this game, but if I saw a video of it online, I would probably laugh and watch it. That's all I'm saying. 989-837-6125. Do you hope J.J. McCarthy stinks? Because if you say yes, it just makes sense. If you're a Lions fan, I can list you reasons A, B, C, D, E, F why this guy stinking would benefit the Lions, because it would be one of the worst personnel moves that a front office has made in the NFC North in a long time. It would really set the Vikings back if this guy ends
The Bears
up not
have
being.
had a few of
they're
those.
like in their own realm. They when they make a good decision, it's like, what? They did something right. That a quarterback decision for the Vikings here could set them back years.
Or it could set them up for years if McCarthy is really good, With him being on the rookie, on the rookie deal, I don't want to be like. Trust me, I'm not this big JJ McCarthy guy, so I don't want to come off as that. But I also don't want to sit here and be like, "There's no chance he's any good." Like at the end of the day, he does have Kevin O'Connell as the coach.
Then why is he not playing already? That's just the part that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's a short week going from Sunday to Thursday, so he gets the extra time to fully get healthy.
6 weeks off.
But I'm saying, if they really think that he's not 100% yet this week, why play him? Get him ready for the divisional game against the Lions, which is clearly their most important game up to this point.
Let me ask you this. Do you think Carson Wentz was 100% healthy going into that one?
No, but Carson Wentz is not their long-term answer at quarterback. Like, you're playing against the Eagles and Chargers in what, 5 days of a span? That's obviously not ideal. Is J.J. McCarthy going to win you both of those games if he's not 100%? No, so why even take the risk?
Because, at least in my mind, the Vikings are in somewhat of a win-now mode, in desperation mode, to get ahead. Like, they'd lose a couple more games here.
Yeah,
and they're
especially
done.
with how good the division is. I agree. And just how good the NFC is depth-wise for the wild card race.
Yeah, how many teams have been eliminated from playoff contention
Just
in the
Saints?
NFC? It's really just the Saints. The Saints. Everyone else should feel at least semi-alive. Whether or not it's reasonable for them to feel that way is up for debate. Like Arizona, the Giants.
Right. They should still feel like they have a chance, though.
Yeah,
because they do.
I couldn't agree more. We're going to talk about the other NFC North teams a little bit later on in the show with no Lions on this week. I want to kind of revisit the conversation of who the biggest threat to the NFC North is, that NFC title that the Lions hold right now. Because I'll tell you what, I thought it was the Vikings going into the year. Hand up, I'll admit it, they don't look very good right now. And that was made very clear last night. So let's revisit that. Who is the biggest threat in the NFC North? That's coming up. But first, the Red Wings and Todd McClellan specifically made a pretty big adjustment last night to their lines. I thought it was a huge mistake. I'll tell you about that when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live right here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube as well. So if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Share it with a friend. Let's set a goal. End of the show. Can we get to 625 subscribers? That'd be awesome. If you enjoy the show, hit the subscribe button. Share it with a friend. Just tell them, hey, if you check this show out, it's one of the best Michigan sports-based shows there is. Maybe even the best Michigan sports-based show there is. I'm not trying to deliver hot takes. I'm just trying to talk about the teams that are playing, what we see, and Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers, Lions, Michigan State, all of it. So if you enjoy, go ahead and share it with a friend.
And you get to see Chauncey Billups hanging out on the desk with Ben.
What was that?
You get to see Chauncey Billups hanging out on the desk with Ben, too.
Yeah, we had to pull out the Chauncey Billups bobblehead to, I don't know, remember him? I don't really know why.
Remember him.
Yeah, to remember the great times.
Remember what he used to be.
This is what he did for us. I don't care what he did the last couple of days. What he brought home a championship to this city. All right, 989-837-6125. 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by IronStack Technologies. Strong businesses, while they need strong tech, and that's where IronStack comes in. Locally owned in Midland, they keep your IT rock solid, from cybersecurity to cloud services and everything in between. Think of them as like an invisible backbone to your business. No capes, just smarter solutions. Whether you're a small shop or a growing company, IronStack makes sure your tech doesn't crumble under pressure. IronStack Technologies, strong, steady, and built to keep you moving forward. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll catch you in a second.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sharon Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
Well, a couple things I'll mention. One I'm really proud of is the work we've done on post-secondary education, because when we think about what really transforms an individual's life, it's education. That makes such a difference in the ability to be able to have a livable wage, to be able to contribute to your community, to be able to give back. So the work that we've done in the post-secondary space, because we give out a lot of scholarships, but when I got there, I went, it seems like we're just a processor of scholarships. I want to be a promoter of education.
Yeah. Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
My son, Ricky, took his life by the use of a firearm. It broke me, and I contemplated suicide. My grandson, I was gonna have to be here for him. I still own my firearm. I keep it in a safe because I want to keep my grandson and myself safe.
Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, the Red Wings, they took a pretty big loss last night. 7-2 was the final, and that is now back-to-back losses after that 5-game win streak. They had back-to-back games on the road. It's going to be the first of 2 times that happens throughout the course of the season. Apparently, they didn't get to downtown New York in their hotel room. John would be so mad if he heard me say that. New York City. They didn't get to New York City until about 2 a.m. because they had Buffalo 2 days ago. I don't know if they flew or drove, but either way, a little bit of a drive. Game ends around 10 o'clock. They didn't get there until about 2 a.m. So, look, I don't think that's an excuse for a 7-2 loss. Cam Talbot was pretty bad last night, allowed all 7 goals. So now both goalies have had one game where it's just been a little bit of a stinker. And now we kind of got to decipher, like, all right, which of these teams is the Detroit Red Wings? Is it this team that went on a 5-game win streak all against the playoff teams from last year? Or is it against this or is it more so the team that lost back-to-back games on the road? And one of them was against a Buffalo team, which is usually the laughingstock of the league. That they've won 3 straight games. At least they had won 3 straight games after they beat the Wings. And then one of us against this Islanders team that's a frisky playoff team, similar to the Wings, but they smoked them. They smoked them last night. So Todd McClellan ended up making an adjustment to last night in the lineup. I don't pretend to be a hockey guru, but there's an adjustment that Todd McClellan made that I just can't get behind. I disagree with. Lucas Raymond ends up going to the second line yesterday to start the game. Usually this season it's been Larkin, Raymond, and Finney, who continues to be one of the best rookies across the National Hockey League this season. But yesterday, with no Patrick Kane, didn't travel with the team, McClellan ends up going with DeBrincat, Larkin, Finney to start out the game and moves Raymond to the second line with the theory of, hey, he's just going to, be the guy in the second line. He's going to initiate all the offense. He can do it by himself. Obviously, that didn't work because the Red Wings were down 5-0 in the third period before Dylan Larkin scored the first goal for the Wings. And at that point, obviously, it was already over. Look, I love Lucas Raymond. For him to do what he did last year and score 80 points and lead the team in points at the age of 22, 23 years old, like, it's impressive stuff. But has it occurred to anyone to think maybe the reason that Lucas Raymond had all that success last season is because he was playing next to Dylan Larkin? And Larkin obviously has been on fire to start this season. He's second in the NHL in points this year. Again, I don't consider myself a hockey guru or an expert, but the idea of splitting up Raymond and Larkin feels like you're just putting a ceiling on what the Red Wings offense can be. And when Kane comes back, it's going to look a lot different. I know you got to shake things up early on in the season, see what works, see what doesn't. I would not do that again if I'm Todd McClellan. I think the two best players on the team should be playing next to each other. I don't know if Raymond has quite reached the point where he can be on his own line and the offense can still be, somewhat successful, because yesterday it wasn't at all. And I think you saw that because you split up your two best players.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind trying to make a switch when you're on back-to-back games, and obviously the first game you're coming off of a loss. Nonetheless, it probably wasn't too much of an impact on the outcome of the game. Just when you allow 7 goals and it got out of hand so quickly, it was 5-0 at the end of the second period. So
right.
It was very clearly, probably not the hugest, the reason they lost by any means. So I don't mind trying to make a switch up here, but I think to your question of what version of the Red Wings are we going to continue to get? I mean, it's the cliche answer, but it's probably something in between, right? It's probably a mix of what we saw when they got off to that hot start at 5-1. And then a little bit what we saw last night. It's hard to sustain being one of the, unbeaten teams in hockey, or at least go on that big of a run. So it's probably somewhere in the middle there. But to your point, I mean, about McClellan, I still think that McClellan has shown that he's willing to kind of think outside the box a little bit and get creative with this team. Whether or not that's a good or bad thing, I think is up for debate. And you're kind of, putting that in the negative side of things. But I certainly don't hate it.
It's not that I hate it. I guess I don't. I don't like it. And I'm all for experimenting things this early on in the season, especially when you're missing one of your top offensive players in Kane. But just the fundamental idea of splitting up Larkin and Raymond, I'm probably not going to support at any point. Now, if Raymond can get to the point where on his own line, on the second line, he can generate some offense, okay, then maybe that's a possibility. But and the reason that that's even a possibility right now is because Emmett Finney is as great as he is to start out this season. The fact that he's already made his way up to the first line and leads the team in hits, he feels like a little bit of an enforcer too, which is something that the Wings missed last season. It gives them the luxury of having that possibility. But for now, I am very anti-splitting those two guys up, and I would love to see that go back to those two guys together on the first line tomorrow night back in LCA. So those are some quick thoughts on the Wings after back-to-back losses on the road yesterday. I would have at least liked to split those, right? Those are two very winnable games.
Yeah,
I know they're both on the road, but I would have at least liked to split that series.
Sure. But I think you also could have said the same thing about when you played back-to-back against two really good teams, and you won both of them. So.
Yeah, but you said this earlier this week, or maybe it was last week. It's like this Wings team was so streaky last season, and even going back to the 23 season, it's like they had a really great month, they had a really bad month, and a really great 3 weeks, really bad 3 weeks. And it's led to bad Marches, I think, back-to-back years, or at least either bad February, March, which has kept them out of the playoffs. Can they just be a little bit more consistent this year? Because I hope they didn't peak really early, and now they're going into a little bit of a valley. And obviously, over the course of 82, you're going to have some of those, but it feels like with the Wings the last 2 seasons, they've been very extreme. Let's make the valleys a little bit shallower, and let's hopefully keep the peaks a little bit higher. But let's be a little bit more steady this season if I'm a Detroit Red Wing. 989-837-6125. We'll hit the news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired. Bresky has you covered. Locally owned and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today to protect your home for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Do we have any spray paint? Why? I need lots of paint. I'm going to paint the house.
I don't think so.
But it looks bad.
Well, you can't spray paint the house.
And then let's call Bresky Siding and Building Repair. They can do it.
Is your siding looking faded, worn out, or just in need of an update? Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your siding, roofing, and gutter needs.
Hi, I know it's late, but I just had a fender bender, and I wasn't sure who to call.
You did the right thing. At Yider Insurance, we're here for you 24/7, day or night, weekday or weekend. You'll always get a real person ready to help. Backed by Auto Owners Insurance.
Life doesn't happen on a 9-to-5 schedule, and neither does Yider. With trusted partners like Auto Owners, whether it's a claim, a question about coverage, or just peace of mind, you can count on us anytime you need us.
Yider Insurance, your friends in the insurance business. Always on, always here for you.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text CLEAN CAR to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Coleman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center. I'm here with Matt Smith with Modern Realty. All right, Matt, forecast 2025 for us.
Well, in 2025, I believe you're going to see a much more balanced market. We've been in a seller's market for a number of years. We're still not busting at the seams with inventory, but we are seeing the market start to balance out a little bit. That means it's still a really good time to get great value out of your home. But for the buyers out there, it also means that your path to home ownership should be a little bit easier.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Back-to-back weeks, we are giving away tickets to Spartan Stadium. November 15th, it is Penn State versus Michigan State in East Lansing, and thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we're sending you home with tickets, but you have to be listening to the Ben Bosscher Show for a chance to win. Again, that is Big Win Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet here on the Mitt.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Michigan needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's hit the news on this Friday.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Whatever you say, Ben, let's hit the news.
Let's do
the Mitt Morning Catch Friday edition. Let's also take a look at the community calendar, as always. Presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Let's take a look at the games that we have this weekend with our local Division II college football teams, because last week was crazy. SVSU got the huge upset win over Grand Valley State. That was unreal to see. They're back in action tomorrow at 2 p.m. They're at home for Wayne State. And then Northwood, who's been really good this year, our own John McCarthy, obviously super invested with the T-Wolves. They're on the road. They're taking on Kentucky Wesleyan tomorrow at 1 p.m., so they got a bit of a road trip.
I was about to say, that's a long way to go for a D2 game. I feel like
is.
most of their games are in the Midwest. They're going all the way down to Kentucky.
That they are. So those are both of our teams in action in the Great Lakes Bay region, and that's a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Last night, NBA only had 2 games on. Both were on prime time. First off, Oklahoma City, before we get to the reason why Ben is so mad, let's talk about the other game. OKC goes to double overtime for back-to-back games to start the season. I probably should have done a little bit more research on this. This has got to be one of the first times in X amount, like a crazy amount of years, that a team has started off the season with 2 straight double OT wins.
I think I saw it was the first time in NBA history.
I was going to say, like, there's no way this has happened very often. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who had a little bit of a slower game in Game 1 against Houston, even though he still ended up with 35 points, drops 55 in the Thunder's double OT win against the Pacers in what was a finals rematch without Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, I saw a list of players that have dropped 50-plus points 5 times in one calendar year. It was like Shea, Michael Jordan.
Harden obviously had to have done it.
Harden, I think,
like 1,000 times.
Yeah, the list was very short, but SGA found himself on that list. I'm going to try to find it by the end of this.
90 points for Shea in the first 2 games of the year, too. I saw that stat as well. Pretty crazy, yeah. And then the other game, the one that Ben was groaning and moaning about, Steph Curry drops 42 points, including 16 straight in the fourth quarter as the Warriors win in overtime against the Nuggets. And the craziest part of this game, Aaron Gordon dropped 50.
Yeah.
What? Aaron Gordon, the guy who just catches dunks from Jokic and plays defense?
Yeah, what year is it? You know,
I mean, it doesn't matter what year it is. Aaron Gordon has never dropped 50.
No, but, you're right. He's never dropped 50. But there was a time once, not too many moons ago, back in Orlando, when it was like, yeah, just give him the ball, get out of the way. Like, this is one of the guys to build a team around, and that obviously all shifted when he started playing with Jokic. They maximized him for sure. But yeah, the reason I was mad, lock of the day was Denver money line, and they were winning what felt like the entire game to the point where I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to bed. Like, I feel like pretty good about this. I wake up, I see the notification, we're going to overtime. I'm like, what is, no way. And I open my phone up, looking at who won the game, and of course, lock of the day loses again. Some tough beats this week. Some really tough beats this week. But I feel good about today's. By the way, that list I was talking about, NBA players who have scored 55 times in a single calendar year. Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, who did it 3 times. Michael Jordan, who did it twice. Kobe Bryant did it twice. James Harden. Dame Lillard, surprisingly on the list. Giannis on the list. And SGA.
Wow. So wait, Harden wasn't on it?
No, Harden was in 2019.
Okay. I was about to say.
Because remember that year he averaged 40 for 2 months?
65 times in a month. Like he had that month where he was averaging. He had that month where he was averaging like 40-some points per game. It was unreal.
Yeah, he had a 50-point triple-double.
Yeah.
Like,
60-point triple-double.
60-point triple-double. God, some of those numbers from like 2017, 2018, when there was a foul on. I know people think the foul baiting's bad now, but back at like
when it was like just Harden doing it.
Yeah, when it was like 8 years ago and it was Harden doing it, and the refs like. I think the game's more physical now. Like over the last couple years,
in the playoffs, I think it is.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of a shift where I know everyone calls SGA a foul merchant, but like he gets bumps. It's not like they're soft fouls. They used to call everything like 5-6 years ago. I guess it was more like 7-8 years ago at this point. But yeah, he's been getting to the line a lot. SGA has. I know people are mad about it, but stop jumping. When he pump fakes, stop jumping. That's how you stop sending him to the line.
Yep. NBA back in action tonight. A ton more games, more than just the 2 of them, including Pistons-Rockets at 8 p.m. Pistons on the road for 2 straight to kick off the season, looking to pick up their first win of the season tonight against Houston.
Yeah, I do not feel too good about this one. I'm not going to lie.
Boo!
And you do? You feel good about this?
Man, I feel so good about this.
He's lying to you guys. He's lying.
Okay, let's talk about what else is going on tonight because it's Game 1 of the World Series. Tonight, 8 p.m. on Fox. Blake Snell for the Dodgers. Trey Savage for the Blue Jays. This is going to be a good series. I'm manifesting it. I think this is going to be a fun series. The Blue Jays are going to put up a much better fight than the Yankees did last year, and it's going to be good.
Are you trying to speak this into existence, or is this your actual prediction?
Yes, I just said I'm manifesting it.
Because I think this is 4 or 5 games.
I think this is like 6-7 games.
Oh. I think Dodgers just lay the smackdown on them, people's elbow, and all of a sudden the
I do
entire
think the Dodgers
conversation,
win, yes.
the entire conversation this offseason is about this looming CBA that's expiring and how the Dodgers bought their way to the title 2 years in a row, and how we're not going to have baseball in 27 until there's a salary cap and a salary floor, more importantly. They're loaded, man. We're going to talk a little bit more about the World Series later on, but if Toronto wins, I think it'd be one of the biggest upsets in World Series history.
There's been like 100 World Series.
Yeah, and I think this would be one of the biggest ones. There's Hall of Famers just everywhere you look on this Dodgers team. And there's probably one playing for the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays are a good team.
So are the Yankees.
Yeah, you're right. That's fair. Quickly checking the odds. Dodgers -230 to win the World Series. Blue Jays +190. Obviously worth noting that the Blue Jays do have home field advantage in this World Series. They will have the first 2 games at home. So, yeah, once again, 8 p.m. start tonight. Blake Snell versus Trey Savage. Should be fun. I will be dialed into this, absolutely. We were talking about Thursday Night Football, Ben. Well, this hidden gem at tight end for the Los Angeles Chargers, Oronde Gadsden II. If you picked him up in fantasy and started him last night, well, it was a good start because he's the first rookie tight end since Mike Ditka in 1961 to have 240 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in a 2-game span. And no, Brock Bowers didn't even do this last year, who had the greatest rookie tight end season ever. Tyler Warren hasn't done that this year. He's having an insane season. So shout out to Oronde Gadsden II of the Chargers. I didn't get him in any of my leagues.
Yeah, and all the guys that you would think, like, you see the Chargers put up 37. It's the most since Jim Harbaugh's been there. And it's like, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, Ladd McConkey all probably had really good games. No, not really.
McConkey did.
McConkey had a good game, not a a game. Hey, he was above his average.
Yeah,
he had like
20
20
yards
fantasy
and
points.
a touchdown, yeah.
But like Keenan Allen, pretty big L.
Quentin Johnson didn't even really play.
Nope.
In the box score.
It's one of those cardio games.
Even the rookie Trey Harris got a touchdown catch. Like, everybody was getting it for the Chargers last night in this destruction of the Vikings, which was fun to watch. And obviously we talked about it earlier, but it was announced after the game. Kevin O'Connell says that J.J. McCarthy plans to be the starter and make his return in Week 9 against Detroit.
Chargers officially back, or Vikings just bad? Because we both really liked the Chargers the first 3 weeks of the season until Joel got hurt. He comes back yesterday.
Yeah.
And Herbert got really lucky on that very first interception that he threw.
Yeah, with Isaiah Rodgers again, just would have had another pick 6.
Yeah, that probably should have just been a pick 6. They end up reversing the call, and then they go on this crazy long it was their opening drive to score a touchdown, and it felt like that completely flipped the game.
Yeah,
if Minnesota
totally
goes
did,
up 7-0 right there on a pick 6, I still think, based on how the rest of the game went, the Chargers probably win, but
it would have been a blowout like it was.
Yeah. They got pretty lucky on that, but then they made the most of it.
I think Chargers are back. I think that is that is my verdict from last night. With Joe Alt back, now they have this long week off before they can really start to get healthy again. I think they're back.
And they already have significant wins in the season already.
And they've had a tough schedule. Like, they have played a lot of really good teams up to this point. So I think that now that they are at the midpoint of the season, potentially getting healthier, I like them going forward.
The other team that played last night, Minnesota's had the easiest schedule in the NFL leading up to this point. Guess who's got one of the hardest ones left?
Them?
Yep.
It's a pretty good guess, right?
Tough stretch
really,
for them
they've had
coming
the
up.
easiest schedule with Philly and with L.A. last night.
That's what they said on the broadcast.
That's interesting.
But there's a bunch of different models that you can look at. I know Warren Sharp has his own. Tankathon has their own. So one of them had whatever the one Amazon Prime was using. Maybe they have their own too. Said that they had the easiest one.
Interesting. I was gonna say let's do one more, but that's okay. Let's save the rest for later.
All right. Yeah, I mean, look, they played the Steelers, Bengals, Bears, Falcons, Browns. Those are some pretty bad teams.
Yeah, I mean the Lions have played a lot of those teams too. But we've also played the Chiefs and the Ravens when they were good.
Yeah, our Ravens win is better than everyone else's Ravens win.
Yeah, we did it way better than everyone else.
I know that sounds really stupid.
Our win against them is better than the 5 other teams that beat them.
I know. Well, I know how that sounds when you
I
say
get what
it,
you're saying.
That's why this Bears game against the Ravens this week
I would
is
say
pretty
the Bills
meaningful.
win over the Ravens was probably better than ours. Correct?
Yeah, yes.
That game was pretty unreal to open the season.
Yeah. Little did we know both of those defenses. It wasn't
right. Yeah, both of them are in shambles.
Yeah, a little bit. both have some big games this week. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Who's the biggest threat to the Lions here in the NFC North? We've teased that a couple times with the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers. Which one of these teams do we think is the biggest threat to the Lions? Because suddenly you look at the standings and the Bears are 4-2. Tell you who I think it is when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. You guys can see us live on YouTube if you'd prefer to watch there. And you can see bright smiles starting at Scott Family Dental, where comfort care and clean teeth come at a standard. Locally owned by Brandon Scott, a native of the Great Lakes Bay region and a basketball rival of ours in the Greater Midland Community Center League.
What?
The business is family-focused. They treat patients of all ages like kids of their own. From routine checkups to whitenings, crowns, and more, they've got the tools and the gentle touch to keep you smiling. Friendly staff, modern tech, zero judgment, even if it's been a while since your last visit. So go ahead and show off those pearly whites. Scott Family Dental has your back and your teeth.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Looking for a job can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. But at Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, they've got the magnet. Whether you're looking for steady work in manufacturing, a fresh start in the office, or the right people to grow your business, they make the match simple. Local recruiters, real relationships, and opportunities that fit you. That's the Spherion difference. Find your perfect fit today. Visit Spherion.com/Midland. Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, where opportunity works.
Is the air in your home dry? Are allergies bothering you? Tired of itchy skin and static everywhere? We have your answer. Answer Heating and Cooling can install a whole home humidifier that keeps your air balanced, your skin comfortable, and your family breathing easier all winter long. Say goodbye to static shocks and hello to comfort. Call Answer Heating and Cooling today or visit AnswerSOS.com. Answer Heating and Cooling, the home of simply outstanding service.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
Into the end zone. The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
Under the lights at Spartan Stadium, MSU hosts the Michigan Wolverines. The 118th all-time matchup. Kickoff Saturday at 7:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
We got a game, boys.
This week on Sunday Night Football.
The Green Bay Packers head to Acrisure Stadium and go head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers, they're 4-2. The Pack are 4-1-1. Coverage at 7:30 Sunday night, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. Who is the biggest threat to the Lions in the NFC North? Look, preseason, I thought it was the Vikings. That clearly doesn't look like the case. I know the Lions are on the bye this week, but I still wanted to find a way to work them in to the show today, and I think this is a perfect way to do it because all three other teams in the NFC North are going to be in action today. Or not today, but this weekend. So 989-837-6125. Who is the biggest threat to the Lions in the North? Kyle, I really don't want to say it's the Packers. But I also don't think the Bears are a real threat either, which leads me to saying, like, I don't think there's any team that's a threat in the NFC North, which clearly isn't true because they're not even
a bad answer.
Yeah, they're not. They don't even control their own destiny in the North because the Viking or the Packers with that 4-1-1 record are still at the top of the NFC North. Look, you guys know my stance on that Thanksgiving game. I think the Lions destroy the Packers in that game. With a little bit of revenge on their mind. Sometimes they just need to get a little punch because the Lions will always punch back harder, especially with these division foes. I'm going to do an alternate spread in that game because dating back to preseason, just didn't really see the vision with this Packers team. And the funny thing is they grade out pretty well. On PFF, they are the number 4 team ranked. DVOA, they're 6th. But I'm looking at their last month, and they barely beat Arizona. They won by 4 against the Jacoby Brissett Arizona Cardinals team. They have a 1-score game with Cincinnati in the fourth quarter, and that was BFE, the before Flacco era. They allowed 40 to the Cowboys, which I guess doesn't look as bad now that we know the Cowboys' offense is as good as it is. But Matt LaFleur also on national television screamed to the entire world that he's a wuss in overtime because he didn't want to go for it. He was willing to play for the tie. So if I'm a Packers fan, I'd be so embarrassed by that moment. And then they straight up lost to Cleveland, who the Lions decimated. Again, I'm just not that scared of this team. They're 23rd in first downs, 12th in yards per play. Yet somehow they have this week 1 win. And I'm looking across the league at some of these week 1 scores. I think it's safe to just throw out week 1 sometimes, more often than not. The Raiders beat the Patriots week 1. That's another one of those that it's
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals started 2-0.
Yeah, with wins against the Saints and Panthers, to be fair. But, sometimes you go back and look at week 1, it's what the hell happened in this one? And I feel like this might be one of them by the end of the season. I'll say this. Despite them not being in first place, the Lions, and we can get into who we think is the biggest threat, because whether or not we believe in the Bears, I think is all, for stakes this Sunday. But I probably feel better about the Lions winning the North right now than I did going into the year.
Really?
I thought Minnesota was going to be really good. And the fact that they're not that great, not even good really, I feel better about it.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think this is a pretty clear two-team race in the NFC North, and the odds reflect that. The Bears, despite being 4-2, are plus 1,100 to win the division, whereas you have Green Bay's plus 105, the Lions are plus 110. They're basically the same.
Right.
I think it would be irresponsible to say that the Packers aren't the biggest threat to the NFC North. You can talk about, I don't think that they're that good. They've had these games, like I said when we did our spread picks yesterday, they've had 4 straight games now, or 5 straight games where they have not covered the spread. Like, that is clearly a little bit of a red flag, I would say. However, they still are atop the division. Like, we can talk about how they play on the field or whatever. At the end of the day, the standings and the records of the teams is what determines how big of a threat they are, right? As far as winning the division.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they are atop this division right now at 4-1-1. Going to a game against Pittsburgh this week where I truly do think they probably feel pretty good. So it's got to be them.
Another fraudulent team.
It's got to be them. The Bears have won 4 straight games, and I think the Bears have shown some sign of life. I think that the Bears have done a lot better than I expected them to.
The Bears are not incompetent.
Right.
That is progress, ladies and gents.
They also, like, I hate doing this because it's mean to do it because you just have to play the teams ahead of you. But, like, they beat up a Cowboys defense that is still, to this point, really terrible in the game that CeeDee Lamb goes out. They beat the Raiders by 1 point on a blocked field goal that they could have lost on. They beat the Commanders by 1 point, just like they did against the Raiders when Jaden Daniels fumbles at the end of the game when the Commanders clearly had the path to win the game. And then last week they played the worst team in the NFC in the Saints. Like, I don't think there's any way you can look at the Bears' schedule and be like, they're 4-2, they're coming for the North.
But there's a couple things you can take away, but honestly, like, I get even more confused when you use the sample size.
You know, they've won late games. I'll give them that.
So they hold Dallas to 14, which is Dallas's lowest of the season. Because even when CD wasn't playing, they were scoring points. So it was impressive that they held them to 14.
For sure.
But then the following week against Vegas, they allow Vegas to score 24, which is a season high for them, which is probably the second most inept offense in the NFL behind the Titans. So, like, okay, they're shutting down a good offense. They're allowing the Raiders, who can't score the football, to score, and they probably should have lost that game based on the missed field goal at the end or the blocked field goal at the end. So I really don't know what to make of this Bears team right now. I feel like we'll have a lot more answers come Sunday against this Ravens team. And I'll tell you what, Vegas sure knows what to think of them. They've the whole touchdown underdogs against the Ravens on the road. It's a team with 1 win. And it's different with Lamar and Henry healthy, but
and like
still.
To be fair, the Bears' schedule doesn't really get tougher until the end of the season. Like, they continue this kind of stretch of, like, obviously this Ravens game this week is going to be a tough game, but then they go at Cincy versus the Giants at Minnesota. Like, there's a path for Chicago to kind of gain some leverage in this division and be closer to the top, especially with both Green Bay and Detroit having tougher schedules at this midpoint of the season than Chicago. So my only thing is, I honestly think Minnesota is still a bigger threat than the Bears. I truly do. I truly do. I think that Minnesota is at a point right now where once McCarthy comes back, like we this kind of takes us back to the lead, but I just don't think there's any way he's worse than Wentz. Like, I think it's only up from here. We can talk about how bad we think McCarthy's going to be or whatever, but at the end of the day, with O'Connell as the coach of this team, and it's all this weird memes about, they meet on a weekly basis to talk about life and all this stuff. That stuff does matter, especially with how good O'Connell has been at changing the trajectory of quarterbacks in the NFL. And so I think there's no way that McCarthy is not at least fine.
Can I interest you in some...
That's all Minnesota needs is quarterback to be fine.
Can I interest you in some Jared Goff versus the Vikings stats?
I'm not saying the Vikings are going to beat the Lions. I just think that they could go on a run. Sure, I mean, let's hear him, but I already know what they're going to be. He's great against the Vikings.
5 straight wins in those games, 283 yards per game, completing 76% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and only 8 sacks in those 5 games. For as much as Brian Flores gets credit for being one of the best DCs in the NFL, which he is, like, I'm not saying he's not, Jared Goff has picked him apart. Like, he recognizes where these blitzes are coming from and finds the open player
and Ben Johnson, I think,
in these games.
Ben Johnson has picked him apart as well. Like, the meme of those two on the sideline, like it was this battle of coordinators, I thought that was awesome. Johnson has owned Flores as well. So
even going back to, I guess Flores got the best of them in that fourth quarter, week 1, but for the most part, it felt like the Bears dominated that matchup. So we'll see. I'd say it's like no one. I guess it's the Packers by default because they have the win over the Lions.
It is the Packers, and they have the win against the Lions, and they're ahead of them in the standings. Like it has to be.
I can't wait to play them. And if I'm excited about playing a team because I'm so confident that the Lions are going to win, that doesn't make them a threat. Sorry, Green Bay fans. 989-837-6125. Actually, I take that back. I'm not sorry at all. All right, it's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. 10 o'clock hour on the way. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
We can't see tomorrow, but we can hear it. And it sounds like peace of mind, knowing our lakes will be better protected by placing Line 5 in the Great Lakes Tunnel. And that we've added extra safety measures while we work to build it, because we're committed to keeping the Great Lakes safe for generations to come. Tomorrow is on. Visit enbridge.com/line5 for more information. Enbridge. Life takes energy.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Back-to-back weeks, we are giving away tickets to Spartan Stadium. November 15th, it is Penn State versus Michigan State in East Lansing, and thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we're sending you home with tickets, but you have to be listening to the Ben Bosscher Show for a chance to win. Again, that is Big Win Wednesday at 10:15 a.m., thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet here on the Mitt.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt. From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
989-837-6125. Hey, we didn't forget. It's rivalry week. Michigan versus Michigan State under the lights. This Saturday, tomorrow even. I think Michigan versus Michigan State's a loser. I think. Hold on. I'm gonna restart. I think Michigan versus Michigan State's a loser leaves town match, for two different reasons for both programs. Though Michigan State loses, and I think it's safe to say Jonathan Smith is no longer employed for the Michigan State University. I know. The contract buyout is absurd. That's a lot of money that they're going to owe this guy for a long time. But come on. Like, if you get blown out by your rival, there's a very good chance that Michigan State parts ways with Jonathan Smith and decides, hey, we can't have this public backlash anymore. Because one thing that I think is more important than the money that they'd be saving is the public image of the university. And if this team is truly going to fall apart, be the worst team in the Big Ten, as long as Jonathan Smith is still the head coach, there's going to be an entire recruiting cycle of 4 years of just watching Michigan belt whoop Michigan State. That would be pretty bad for the program. Like, there's going to be a whole recruiting cycle of kids that have never seen Michigan State be competitive with Michigan. I don't think that's very good. So, on one hand, if Michigan State loses this game, I think Jonathan Smith is leaving town. On the other hand, I don't think Sharon Moore's job is on the line by any means. But if Michigan loses this game, it's a loser leaves town match in terms of their season's done. Like, I think they're pretty much disqualified from being in the playoffs if they lose this game to Michigan State. Even if they were to pick up a win against Ohio State later on in the season, a 3-loss team is probably not getting in to the college football playoffs this season with how many 1- and 2-loss teams are sitting in the top 25 as we speak right now. There are a lot of teams that are still alive for this playoffs. If Michigan loses to Michigan State, this version of the Michigan State Spartans, I think their playoff chances basically go to zero. Like, it is out of their control whether or not they're going to the playoffs at that point. At the very least, you're hoping for like a dozen teams to start losing at that point. So I do think it's a loser leaves town match, but for two very different reasons.
I would agree. There's a reason today, Ben, that I've come dressed in all black today.
Oh.
As you can see if you're on YouTube. Today is the end of Jonathan Smith. Tomorrow's the end of Jonathan Smith. It's over for the Spartans. We can talk about the Michigan side of things for sure. We don't need to talk about that because it's not going to happen. Like, the Michigan State is not upsetting Michigan. It's truly one of those situations that, sure, it's a save-your-job opportunity for Jonathan Smith, and maybe this is a way that they can gain some momentum in the back half of the season and pick up some big wins in the Big Ten with winning a rivalry game over Michigan. Why would you think that? Like, what has happened this season? What has happened in the history of this rivalry over the last several seasons that would lead you to believe that the Spartans are going to upset Michigan tomorrow? Nothing. There's truly nothing.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
It's not like this has been a back-and-forth rivalry the last couple of years. This has been owned by Michigan the last 3 seasons in a row. Last season was at least the first time that it was relatively close for a little bit. Sure, I guess that's a win at the end of the day because that's what counts for wins for Michigan State in this Jonathan Smith era is keeping the game close. I just think that after everything that has gone down in this era, and now Michigan State has, sure, Smith took over a terrible situation once Mel Tucker was out and he came in. That's been a lot of the same situations across other programs in the nation as well, you know? And so with Michigan State being at the bottom of the Big Ten, being with the bottom tier of those teams, which they never should be, add that in the fact that you're likely going to get blown out by your rival at home, and then there's no hope for the rest of the season to win another Big Ten game. It is over for him after Saturday. Sunday morning, we will be getting the notification. Maybe Monday. We'll see.
Can I interest you in some Jonathan Smith, Oregon State versus Oregon stats?
Sure, don't care, but sure.
He's 2-4 versus Oregon. And one of those games was when, I'm sure they were underdogs in basically every game. One of those games, Oregon State was unranked, and Oregon was number 15 in the country. That's notable. One of those games, Oregon State was 21 and Oregon was 9. And they were able to come out on top. Both times were at home. This Michigan State game, obviously, at home on Friday night. Again, you made the point. There's not a single thing you can point to as to why Michigan State should come out on top here.
The only thing that you could point to is like, oh, it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen.
I think
that's the only and it's just such a cliche thing to say.
But I think there's another cliche thing that's real. It's a freshman quarterback on the road at night under the lights in a hostile environment. Bryce Underwood has never played in anything like this in his entire career. And if there's going to be one game...
What, Clarkson versus Belleville doesn't count as this big rivalry under the lights, high environment?
No. If there's going to be one game where Spartan Stadium needs to do their thing and really ball out and be one of the best student sections and atmospheres in the Big Ten, it has to be this game. The Michigan State fans have
they've lost all their juice, Ben. Like you talk to any you have Michigan State friends.
I know.
Let's not act like this is some game that they're getting up for. I understand it's hate week and like no matter what the situation is, you're going to be excited for Michigan State, but like any Michigan State friend that you have and you ask about this situation, they all feel the same exact way. They are drained. They are depleted by this football team right now. And sure, maybe
It's
the
sad.
only way that you can
It's
get some
pretty
juice
sad.
back is with this game on Saturday. So maybe that's a reason to have a little bit of energy for the game. But
Well-
by the time the second quarter rolls around
No,
and Aiden Childs has
hold
thrown an
on.
interception, all of that goes out the window.
No, because in the second quarter, it's still going to be a close game because Michigan's not this offensive explosive
I agree.
team that puts up points in a hurry. They want to slow the pace. They want to control the time of possession, which is going to allow this to be a 1 or 2 possession game, I think, for the majority of this game, which is why I think this 14.5-point spread is a little bit too high. Now, if Michigan's going to cover, I think it's late in the game. They end up just leaning on Michigan State for 3 quarters, and Michigan State kind of crumbles in the fourth. I think this is like first half spread. That's something I'm definitely interested in for Michigan State. Nick Marsh touchdowns. Like he had a ton of success versus Michigan last season. I'm not predicting an upset outright, but Jonathan Smith beat Oregon. He beat Oregon at home in 2020, which was a really weird season,
And guess what?
nonetheless. But it's something like the Bryce Underwood biggest game of his career under the lights, hostile environment, nothing like anything he's ever played in. That's a real thing that I don't think people should be ignoring. Now, Michigan could end up winning this game, but is Bryce Underwood going to play the best game of his career? I highly doubt it, and if he does, then all the more reason for Michigan fans to believe in him. But show me all the examples of a freshman quarterback, true starter, in his 7th game, going to one of their biggest rivals and going under the lights and thriving. It just doesn't happen in this sport. That's all. Like, I don't think Michigan State fans should be so hopeless to where they're not even excited for this game going into it.
The team stinks, Ben. Like,
I know.
We're talking about this like this is the rivalry game is a huge, like it's a two good teams going at it. You're comparing Oregon State versus Oregon. Ben, the difference is under Jonathan Smith, Oregon State was a good football team.
They were unranked when they beat Oregon in 2020.
They were still good. They probably had wins in their conference. Like, we can talk about, these are things we can't ignore. Also, what we can't ignore is that Michigan State hasn't won a game in the Big Ten this year. Like, the team isn't very good. That's just my whole thing is, like, I understand that the rivalry aspect of this, and Bryce Underwood is still good. Like, this Michigan team is better than they were a year ago. This State team is clearly worse, and Michigan still won in the fashion that we exactly expected them to last season. It was tight for a while, and then at the end of the game, Michigan controls it come the fourth quarter. I think that's exactly what's going to happen this week. Like, it'd be different. This conversation would make sense from you if it was Michigan versus Ohio State. A true, like, big rivalry between two teams that have expectations this season and are good football teams. The issue is one of the teams involved in this rivalry game stinks.
I hear you, man. I'm
And trust me, I'm the
trying
Michigan
to
State
give
guy.
some
I'm the Michigan State
Michigan
guy.
I'm trying to give Michigan State fans some reason to be excited for this game because they're all walking around with their shoulders moped down, and they're all
What do you want them to do? Like, what do you want them to do?
be excited that a freshman quarterback's coming to your stadium. Like, that is what if Bryce Underwood just stinks in this game? Is that out of the realm of possibilities? That he's just missing guys? Because it's not like Bryce Underwood gets rattled and then starts throwing off target. He just throws off target all the time. It's not like he's been some impressive quarterback this season. I know we're all excited about the future and he shows these glimpses, but on a down-to-down basis, it's not like he's been elite. There's still a legitimate argument to be made of which quarterback, like what team has the quarterback advantage in this matchup. Do you agree with that?
I mean, but sure, I guess. I still think Childs is in a similar boat as far as the flashes that he shows and things like that. So sure, but just the all-around team and everything. I mean, like, no matter how good Aiden Childs is or bad that he is, the offensive line is never going to correlate that. He's never going to be able to keep consistent with how bad the offensive line is. And then obviously Michigan State's defense is just a humongous issue.
That's the real killer here.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I'm saying, Bryce Underwood could be bad. Doesn't matter. Jordan Marshall and if Justice Haynes is 100% are going to absolutely destroy and shred this State defense. Like, Underwood could be bad and Childs could be great, and it could still be a 2-score game and Michigan covers. Like, that's just my whole thing. Like, what is the world that State wins? Like, what really would need to happen? It would have to be a lot of things going a specific way.
I think the world where State wins is
a defensive touch, like a pick six would have to happen. Something crazy like that would have to happen.
I think it's like they just linger around. It's like a 10 or 13 point game in the fourth quarter, and then you blink, and it's like, wait, what just happened? Like Michigan State, Nick Marsh had like the 60-yard touchdown that connected on that. Michigan suddenly goes 3 and out, and then it's like, wait, what? Michigan State has a chance to go down the field and score here, and they look terrible for 3.5 quarters, and then somehow they have 2 good drives in a row, and just like that, they're back in it because Michigan refused to put them away. That's the recipe for Michigan State to come out with a win. Now, am I predicting that to happen?
Right.
Again, no, but I think the 14.5, I think this is going to be, look, I think they're going to stay within the 14.5 for the majority of the game.
I think that's fair. I think that probably will happen. But just like last year, it'll probably end, the fourth quarter will probably be won 17-0 by Michigan, you know?
It was a one-score game last year.
But I'm just saying, like, they'll pull away in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you're
and
probably
then State
right.
will score a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the game to feel
Make
good
it
about
look close.
themselves. Just like
Cover
they
the
have,
spread.
Just like they have with all of the good teams they played this year.
Yeah, you would like that, Chauncey, wouldn't you? Cover the spread. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll get to a couple Mitt messages. Michigan State fans, do you think you have a chance, a fighting chance in this game? And Michigan fans, how confident do you feel going into this this matchup? On the road, freshman quarterback, under the lights, hostile environment. There are some red flags there that I don't think should be ignored. 989-837-6125. The 10 o'clock hour, as always, here on the Ben Bosscher Show, is brought to you by Corning, a global leader in material science right here in Midland. From the glass in your smartphone to innovations that power clean energy and advanced medicine, Corning is shaping the future. But it's not just about the tech, it's about the people. Corning invests in the community. It supports local schools and creates opportunities that are close to home. With a legacy of innovation and commitment to what's next, Corning is proud to call Midland a part of its story. Corning, creating life-changing innovations, one breakthrough at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Hey, sports fans, heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan, featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Broken appliance? Don't panic. Call Mr. Appliance. With a 4.9-star Google rating, our expert service professionals deliver speedy service with a 1-year done-right promise, so you can count on long-lasting repairs. We treat your home or business with care, no mess, and no trace left behind. Ask about our appliance wellness program to keep things running smoothly year-round. Visit us online at MrAppliance.com for easy online scheduling and local contact information. Mr. Appliance, speedy, trusted, guaranteed.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mid is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. Let's do a couple Mitt messages, and then we'll get into some World Series stuff. So we got a text that says, of course, Michigan State has a chance. Upsets happen every single week. Rivalry weekend is always up in the air for both of these teams. I'm guessing Michigan State gets it done. Bet the over. Remember when Aiden Childs told us to bet the over? That didn't work out. Chauncey would tell us to bet the under, wouldn't you, Chauncey? I love this bobblehead
I don't really
sitting
like
here
this
now.
whole, tapping his head thing.
That's what you do to bobbleheads.
Yeah, I know. It's just kind of weird.
We should put some poker cards or some playing
some
cards
chips.
underneath them, too. Yeah, that. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. We need to just get a couple poker chips, put them right in front of here.
It's pretty good.
I will say, to me, he's always going to be a guy that brought the Pistons their third title. And then we can.
It's so funny.
Everything is after that.
I understand, obviously this is not a good look for him or anybody involved, but it's so funny how people are like, man, Chauncey Billups was my hero, and now I hate him.
He can still be your hero.
What?
There's a reason there's still in Auburn Hills to this day a road called 3 Championship Lane. It's because of this guy. I think it's okay to still,
Yeah, I think you could. I mean, it's.
You don't have to take down the posters in your wall.
Right, it's not like he cheated when he was playing for the Pistons, you know?
Yeah, he cheated way late. It's Blazer stuff. Do you think there's a chance they take him out of the Hall of Fame if he ends up being found guilty, which is still a big if?
No, well, also it doesn't sound like he was involved with the infiltration of games. It was all this.
Sounds like this is still very much active investigation, though. Like if we find out he's tipping unders and stuff,
I think he was just involved with people that were involved with that, you know. So
let's say worst case scenario though, like he's pulling guys, he's dictating unders. Do you think he gets pulled from the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I mean, this is new territory. I don't know how they would handle that. It seems like something they would definitely consider. But can you just kick guys out of the Hall of Fame? Does that happen?
I don't think there's any rules. I doubt it's happened before, but I don't think there's a rule saying that can't happen.
I don't know how that's going to work. They put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame finally, so they waited till after he died. But so maybe they've switched their stance on that stuff. Who knows?
If they take him out of the Hall of Fame and then he dies in 50 years, I think they'd put him back in.
That would just be weird.
He's Mr. Big Shot. Yeah, I've never understood.
I still like you, Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, everything that happened after the title.
Pistons, Chauncey Billups, of course. Yeah.
This version of Chauncey Billups that I'm sitting here right now and bobbling his head. All right, 989-837-6125. World Series. Forget the prediction. I know you said that you think Toronto's going to keep this thing close and maybe it goes 7 games, but what do you want to happen here? Because it feels like this happens all the time. Teams win too much. Public turns on them. I think you know how I stand on this. I always am rooting for the dynasties. I'm rooting for the greatness because I want to say, I remember when I saw these guys. I'm jealous of the people that got to say, I remember those 95 Bulls because I obviously didn't get to see that. I'm jealous of those who saw Magic and Bird dynasties because obviously I didn't get to see that. I'm 100% rooting for the Dodgers here because I want Shohei Ohtani to be notoriously known and consensusly known as the greatest baseball player of all time because I didn't get to see Barry Bonds or Pete Rose or Babe Ruth for that matter. Of course I didn't get to see those guys. Why would I not want the guy I get to watch and I remember seeing in person and I remember experiencing it being this is unbelievable. I can't believe I'm seeing Shohei Ohtani in person. Hits a home run in Comerica Park and it's that's a moment I'll remember the rest of my life. He has that sort of aura to him. Of course I want him to succeed. It's the whole reason I never understood why people my age and in my generation wanted to see LeBron fail, right? It's that's your guy. Why are you rooting against him? So I am rooting for the Dodgers. I want to see a dynasty be built. I want to say I remember those pre-salary cap, pre-salary floor era Dodgers that changed the game of baseball forever. I think that'd be an awesome story 20 years from now when I'm telling my kids about it. I want to say I saw Shohei Ohtani go back-to-back. I'm rooting for all the legacy stuff to happen. I guess I don't really understand why people are so anti-Dodgers, anti like, especially once they get there. If they're going up against your team, I get it. Anti-Dodgers, anti-Chiefs. That one makes a little bit more sense just because of some of the off-the-field stuff. But I'm 100% rooting for the Dodgers. I just want to put that out there. Not that anyone cares what I'm rooting for, but
right.
I think sometimes we need to appreciate what's happening a little bit more.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers, I think, fit into that category.
Is it boring for me to say, like, I don't really care? Is that a boring answer?
No, it's not. Not if it's your
like,
actual answer.
What I'm rooting for is just like, can this game go to Game 7 or this series go to Game 7? Like, can we get a really good World Series? That's kind of what I'm rooting for. Like, I'm with you though that like to me now that the Dodgers have made it, I wanted them to make the World Series because just for the storyline aspect of things, it makes people. I've always been a fan of. There should be a team that a consensus fan base can hate and root against. It's good for the sport. I think it's actually good when a team is dominant and like everyone hates the Warriors. Everyone's hate watching the Chiefs. Everyone's hate watching LeBron. Like, and now it's the same for the Dodgers. It gets more people invested. You know, whether if this was at the end of the day, we can do this small market, big market thing. I don't think it has anything to do with the market. It's just a team that wins too many times. People love to root against that team. If it was going to be Brewers versus Blue Jays, there would be less investment from the general fan base of baseball and sports fans in general.
And Toronto's one of the bigger markets.
Totally, yeah,
like,
exactly.
It may not get brought up right away just because it's in a different country, but, I mean, Toronto is 1,000% one of the biggest markets in Major League
yeah.
Baseball.
I mean, it shows up with their payroll, too. They're top 5 in payroll. So, yeah, I think that, to me, like, I'm rooting for the Dodgers, like, for their aspect of, the greatness thing. And, obviously, we work here in Dow Diamond with the Loons. Like, I think that is a ton of fun, and knowing that these guys might go play for that team someday. But, the greatness aspect of Ohtani, I'm with you. But I also think that it's fun to root for Toronto because they're the team that can take down this godlike team in the Dodgers. So, I'm cool with either side winning this one. I think it's just I want a good series. I want a long series.
I see Gary saying in the YouTube chat, rooting for anybody but the Dodgers, not against the players, but disagree with the idea that you can buy your way to a World Series. I got news for you, Gary. This feels like the last or second to last year that's going to be possible. It's like
I disagree.
Oh, I was just about to ask. Betting odds wise, Chauncey would like this. What do you think? It's like
Ohtani would like this.
I was gonna say like minus 150 that there's gonna be a salary cap or salary floor in play in the next 3 years.
No,
I think it's more likely than not.
No, I think the salary rules get adjusted, but a salary cap, I just don't see that.
What
happening.
about the floor? Is what's more important to me.
The floor is what's more important to everyone. The floor is that's what changes baseball. Like that's what gets all these other teams spending money and that's what the players want more because that's the issue with this, Ben. It's a player v owners thing.
Right.
The players are the ones that are going to disagree. Why would the players want a salary cap?
Right.
They want a floor. They want to be paid more. Like. So I think that there's no chance that this stuff with the Dodgers paying top dollar gets capped and the Mets and all those teams.
But a salary floor would act as a natural salary cap in the way that if you're forcing teams to spend X amount of money, the Dodgers aren't going to be able to re-sign a Teoscar Hernandez because some other teams like, well, we have to reach the salary floor, so let's just give him a ton of money this season. Like, it will act as a natural salary floor in some way. Whereas the A's this season,
right?
or
But
the
you
Rockies
could still
this
run
season,
up you could still go crazy though.
Sure. But eventually, like a team, like if there's a salary floor, a team like the Rockies can't get away with what they did this year. It's like we're not going to spend a dime. We're actually like Teoscar Hernandez, a free agent. Well, we may as well give him a ton of money because we have to. We have to.
Right.
So I think it'll naturally balance things out. Not as hard as a salary cap, but it'll act in place of a salary cap in some way if there's a salary floor. Because what the White Sox and the Rockies and the A's have gotten away with doing, just making it a 27 and 26 team league rather than a 24 where there's just
the White
five
Sox
teams
payroll
at the
this
bottom.
year was $17 million.
Like, it's pathetic. They're making it, at least going into the season.
It's unreal.
In the NFL, it's like, yeah, we know there's going to be some bad teams, but every team's wanting to compete. Same with basketball. Like, we know the Nets are going to stink this year. That's kind of the lone exception, but like everyone at least is trying to compete going into the years.
You also have a salary floor in the NBA.
Right. With baseball,
and
it's
that's
like
why there's this parity.
Now there's like 6 to 8 teams every single season that are like, yeah, we know going into the year we're going to be bad and we're completely okay with it. And we're open about it because we're just not going to spend a single penny. $17 million is crazy. How many players are making more than $17 million this year?
In baseball?
A handful.
A crap ton of them. Like a huge amount of them. Half the Dodgers are. Like, most of them are. So
it's pathetic.
Yeah, it's to me like that's the solve here is the floor, and I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that the whole discussion of like, well, if the Brewers beat the Dodgers, then the CBA issues aren't going to happen. It's only if the Dodgers beat the Brewers. I think that's BS. It's
glorified it, though.
It's going to happen either way. This is when the CBA issues happened, this would have been, 2 seasons ago, right before the start of the year, when it sounded like there might have been a delay to the start of the season. And then out of nowhere, they were like, hey, we're going to sign this contract, and it's going to take us 3 years down the line, and basically nothing got resolved. It was just
we're kicking the can down the road.
We'll figure this out in 3 years. And now we're going to get faced with that opportunity this offseason. So I think that this is going to be a long thing because the owners in baseball are similar to the owners in football, the people that actually control the sport, but they do it a little bit even more than football does. Whereas whoever the commissioner is and the Players Association, all that stuff in baseball, they do not have nearly the amount of power that the owners do. So this is going to be a long fight if the players do really want to get this salary floor, whatever they want, in place. And the new contract system, I think, totally is something that they want as well. But we're going to find out. It's going to be interesting. And I don't think the Dodgers winning or losing the World Series affects that.
Are the Dodgers the first team in Major League Baseball history, or at least that I can remember, that have basically elected to pull an NBA team and just be like, yeah, we're just going to coast through the regular season. Like, we know once we get to the postseason, we're going to just turn it up a notch.
You really – the baseball is – such few teams make the playoffs. There was a time during the season this year where the Dodgers were, like, in a race to – with the Padres to win the division, and then the National League wild card race is super tight.
And then when they needed to put their foot on the gas, they did. It's I don't know. It kind of reminds me of some of those LeBron years in Cleveland where it's like –
I don't really think you can coast through the season in baseball. I think it's a little bit different.
I don't know. They're playing their best baseball. They're significantly better right now than they've been at any point this season.
Yeah, because they've moved their starting pitchers to the bullpen.
That could be it.
And
I just think there was a sense
really good too, of course.
I do think there was a sense this year for the Dodgers. It's like, we know we're good. Like, if we lose, we're not all that worried.
Of course they think they're good, yeah.
I don't know. I had that thought because it reminded me some of the LeBron and Cleveland years where it's like, yeah, like once we get to the postseason, we'll turn it up a notch.
You could have made the same argument. Like the Mets had a roster where they could have coasted, and they didn't even make the playoffs. So it's
but the Dodgers know how to win. They have a prestige to them. Like they've been there, done that. The Mets have no idea how to win. Like they don't have this postseason lore about them. They don't have all the championships. Like the Dodgers organization from the top down knows how to win. So I don't think they were worried about all 162. They just had to get there, and they knew they had the roster talented enough and the experience to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's your prediction, though? I know we said what we're rooting for, but give us a prediction.
Dodgers in 5.
Yeah, that seems fair. I'll go Dodgers in 6. Yeah, I think it's fair.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We'll take a trip around the league when we come back here on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, if you're heading out of town this weekend, give your car the glow up it deserves it. Tommy's Express Car Wash, fast, friendly, and freakishly good at cleaning. Roll in dirty, roll out sparkling. It is, in fact, that easy. High-tech wash tunnels, eco-friendly soaps, and a ride that looks showroom fresh in just a couple minutes. Sign up for their unlimited club and wash as often as you want because clean cars just drive a little bit quicker. No appointments, no nonsense, just quick, clean, and kind of addictive. Tommy's Express Car Wash because your car called and it's begging for this. Locations in Midland, Saginaw, and Flint.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ugh, the outside of my house needs a total makeover. The siding is faded, the gutters are falling off, and the roof is leaking.
What is that falling from the sky?
Super Bresky!
Who are you?
Super Bresky!
Excuse me?
I'm here to tell you, Bresky Siding and Building Repair can fix your house in no time. All you have to do is call my dad, and your house will look as good as new.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9, The Mitt. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower, and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program, visit 1009themit.com.
Is the air in your home dry? Are allergies bothering you? Tired of itchy skin and static everywhere? We have your answer. Answer Heating and Cooling can install a whole home humidifier that keeps your air balanced, your skin comfortable, and your family breathing easier all winter long. Say goodbye to static shocks and hello to comfort. Call Answer Heating and Cooling today or visit AnswerSOS.com. Answer Heating and Cooling, the home of simply outstanding service.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Back-to-back weeks, we are giving away tickets to Spartan Stadium. November 15th, it is Penn State versus Michigan State in East Lansing, and thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we're sending you home with tickets, but you have to be listening to the Ben Bosscher Show for a chance to win. Again, that is Big Win Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet here on the Mitt.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them. On Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
Let's go! Get him going!
Mondays this football season when you want the NFL.
I got your back! I got your back! I got your back! I got your back! We're going to the Super Bowl.
It's right here.
Make this thing happen. Come on.
We've got Monday Night Football all season long.
We got a big one coming up, guys.
Chiefs and Commanders from Arrowhead. Kansas City's third primetime game in the last 4 weeks. Coverage at 7:30, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midlands.
Right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. How about we take a moment and take a trip around the league?
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, let's go through each division in the NFL and discuss how many teams can possibly win it. Like, how many teams eligible are left to win each division? Does that make sense?
Sure.
You said that like a question, like you weren't
like you
sure
want to go through.
sense.
You want to like do it division by division.
Yeah, like how many teams can still win
Okay.
this each division? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we kind of did that with the North. I think there's only 2 teams, and I think that your odds reflected that. I know the Bears are 4-2. If they beat the Ravens on Sunday, I will say there's 3 teams eligible to win the division. But right now, I think it's a 2-man race between the Packers and the Lions.
Really? I mean, I would still say a team that's 4-2 like has a chance to win the division, right?
I mean, Vegas had them at plus 1,000. They're 6-point dogs. Like, I don't think I know
I
they've
get it.
won
You're
4
right.
straight games. I don't think they're capable of beating the Lions or Packers. Maybe
Still have a negative point differential.
right, and partially because the Lions gave them such a good shellacking week 2, and they just don't beat the Packers ever. So if you can't beat those two teams, I don't really think you're eligible to win the division.
Yeah.
So I
that's
think
fair.
there's only 2.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. I would agree.
Vikings can turn it around, but the defense has also been a little bit suspect.
I don't think it'd
They've
be a
had some
little bit
injuries.
impossible for them to actually win the division.
The Vikings?
I still think the Vikings are definitely in play to be a wild card team and everything, but winning the division is now out of the realm.
Yeah. I think once Van Ginkel and Cashman are fully healthy, the defense can be a little bit better. But that offensive line is what's going to hold them back this season. It has not been very good. And if they get another loss next week and they end up 3-5, yeah, they're not winning the division. All right, let's do the NFC South. Is Tampa Bay the only team that can win this, or can Atlanta and Carolina? The fact that I'm asking that question, I guess, makes it 3, but I can't see Carolina winning this. I think Atlanta has a shot because this team plays really good at home. We see their offense be able to put up points in a hurry. They just can't do it on the road, and they can't do it outdoors. So I still think this is Tampa, and I'd be surprised if that went any direction, but the injuries are adding up.
Yeah, I mean, they still have a ton of injuries at the end of the day, and they have a tougher game this week. And then, obviously, Atlanta, you feel pretty good about. They've already had their bye. I don't think Carolina can win this division. I know they're second place right now at 4-3. I think it'd be crazy if they won the division.
Yeah.
I think there's no chance, and obviously the Saints are done for. We were just talking about point differential, by the way, Ben. This entire division has a negative point differential. Obviously,
Even Tampa.
Tampa, all of their wins have been close wins.
Which should be viewed as a good thing, but also that's not really sustainable. This is it's fun when we do it with Baker. It's a good thing, all these comebacks. But remember when Kirk Cousins did this a few years back, and it's no, it's not as fun.
I mean, just all of their games in general have been close up until that Lions game, so that's what kind of puts them at that negative spot.
It's like the flirting versus harassment meme. You know what I'm talking about? It's like when Kirk Cousins win all these close games, it's harassment, but when Baker does it, it's flirting, even though it's the same thing.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's 2 teams.
I think there's 2.
I still think
Atlanta
Atlanta's
could.
upside.
I think Atlanta could. They're plus
fairly
370,
high.
so obviously it's still going to be a tough route. But they play again head-to-head later in the season, and Atlanta can potentially gain one back while Tampa has a tougher game in an injury-riddled team before their bye this week.
Yeah, Tampa has the week 1 head-to-head. That's what's key to remember here. NFC West, I think there's 3 legit teams that could win this division right now. This is probably the best division in football at this point. I think it's the Rams, but DVOA, PFF, all the nerds love what the Seahawks have done. And, of course, Kyle Shanahan and this Niners team, they should be getting healthier, at least on offense, with Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings and Kittle and Purdy all coming back at some point. Maybe the workload on CMC doesn't have to be as heavy the rest of the season. There's a real argument for all 3 of these teams. So I'd say this is the deepest division in football. And I know this was the case preseason. I'd be shocked if it was any different than it is, any different right now, that these have the tightest odds in terms of a last-place team winning. Arizona's obviously not winning, but it feels like a toss-up who's going to win it between the 3 teams. I like the Rams the most.
I think I like the Rams the most as well, but like you're saying, it wouldn't shock me at all if it ended up being Seattle or the Niners that won this division. So I'm with you. What do you think the order of odds is to win this division right now?
Well, the Niners have the head-to-head win against the Rams, which probably goes a long way right now. I'll say Vegas really likes San Fran going into the year, so I'll say San Fran the favorite, the Rams second, Seattle third.
Close. The Rams actually are the favorite at plus 125.
Okay.
Niners are second right behind them at plus 175. And then Seattle's a little bit more of a longer shot at plus 270, so they still want to see it a little bit more with Seattle.
Just in terms of odds, I'd go Seattle, if anything.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
They've looked awesome.
Offense and defense, they've looked really good. So
they're one of 6 teams with an offense and defense in the top 10 of PFF's grades.
Right. If only Mike
actually
McDonald
in point differential.
quitted hating Kenneth Walker III.
That's
because of what he did to his defense in 2021.
That's a Clinton Kubiak thing, though.
Nope,
isn't
it's
it?
a Mike McDonald thing.
Okay. NFC East. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think there's only one team. Yeah, I think it's the Eagles. I can't believe people are writing off the Eagles. Oh, their offense has whatever, man. They're the Eagles. They have enough talent on the roster. I'm sorry, I know Dallas can put up points in a hurry, but their defense is not good enough. And I don't know what's going on with Jaden Daniels if he can play a month in a row. Either way, that offensive line is not very good, and the defense hasn't been very good either. So I got the Eagles as the lone team. I'd be shocked if anybody else won.
If Daniels didn't get hurt this past week, I would maybe be like, it could be the Commanders still. The issue is they have to go Chiefs, Seahawks, Lions their next 3 games, with potentially without Jaden Daniels for obviously at least one of those games and maybe 2 or 3. So that's a brutal stretch. To their benefit, they do play the Eagles twice still at the end of the season. So like they have the opportunity in front of them to make up for it. That also could be a bad thing. I think if the Cowboys had the Eagles twice or had already won that head-to-head week 1 with the Eagles, I would give them a chance. I think I will go, am I allowed to say 1.5?
Sure. There's no rules.
I'll give it 1.5 because I think there's just a slight chance that maybe Cowboys/Commanders could do it. But I'm kind of with you. I think that the Eagles are not locked up to win this division, but as far as like odds go to win this division, they're one of the bigger favorites in their own division out of any team. So they're minus 270 right now to win it.
Let's go AFC quickly. AFC East, I think there's 2 teams. That's kind of the only answer, right? It's Patriots, it's Bills.
Obviously, it's the only answer, yeah.
Yeah, Bills.
I still think the Bills will win it, but...
Even with the Patriots schedule?
Yeah, I still think they will win it, but we'll see.
Patriots upcoming schedule, Browns, Falcons, Bucks. And that is the hardest it'll be. Then it's actually a joke. Do you have the odds pulled up?
Yeah.
Who's the favorite?
Currently, the favorite would be the Buffalo Bills at minus 180.
Oh, wow.
That's at plus 145.
All right. AFC North.
This is a tough one, Ben. This is a tough one, Ben.
I think there's 3 teams.
Really?
And I think the Ravens are one of them.
You think the Bengals can win the division still?
Only because I don't really believe in any of the other teams.
I guess you're right. The odds kind of reflect it as well.
What are they?
Steelers plus 135, Ravens plus 150, Bengals plus 350. Like, the Bengals are still in the mix there.
Like, it's not that I love the Bengals, but if they go 500 or, like, one game above 500 the rest of the way.
Yeah, this could be a 9-8 division winner.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm going with it. And could the Bengals do that in the last month of the season? They get Burrow back? Sure, I think that's possible. It's also possible Baltimore rips off, like, 8 wins in a row here and is suddenly looking at 9-5. You know what I mean?
In a row.
Like, I'm not... Look, or 7-1 in the next 8, like something like that. If Baltimore just gets really hot,
right?
I'm scared to write off a guy like Lamar Jackson, so I'm going to say 3 here.
I will go 2. I think it's just Steelers Ravens. I don't really see a world where the Bengals win the division.
AFC South.
I'm going 1.
I'm
Ben.
going 1.
It's just 1.
Yeah,
the Texans aren't
you.
doing it. The Jags, the way they looked last week, no. The Colts look way too good for you not to say the Colts.
I agree. I think it's 1 team.
Yep.
AFC West.
Is this
I'm
a 3?
standing on my money.
Or is this just going to be a 2?
1. It's Kansas City. They're inevitable. They're going to win this division.
Oh man, that's crazy. I'll go with 3. I'll be the opposite. I mean, it's either 1 or 3. You're not just going to say 2 here and not include the Chargers or Broncos. So.
Yeah, I think it's 1.
Okay.
Kansas City. You can hate them. You can love them. What remains true is they're going to be there at the end. They might be in 3rd place in their division right now, but their plus 62 point differential is the most in their division by a lot. It's also the 2nd most in the NFL. 3rd most in the NFL. Lions and Colts, the other 2. All right, 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. The Lions MVP at this point in the season now at the bye. I'll tell you who that is when we come back. Your dream lawn, yeah, Cervinsky sod can literally roll that out. Locally grown, top-quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers. They've been doing it for over 50 years, which makes them experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing the whole yard, Cervinsky delivers lush green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener next summer. Don't settle for a bland yard. Make sure you increase the value of your home and have the lawn that your neighbors envy when all the snow melts at the end of the season. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Something's in the water.
Dude, it's in your mouth.
I can't see it, but I feel it.
This summer, from the people who brought you floss and fluoride, gum disease, the silent bite.
Ah! Why didn't anyone warn me?
We did. At Scott Family Dental, you may not see the problem, but we can. No insurance contracts and a team that treats you like family.
So no jaws, just gentle cleanings?
Exactly. But skip your checkup and you might need a bigger toothbrush.
Scott Family Dental. Catch the problems before they bite. Book now at scottfamdental.com.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh? Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at premiertilestone.com.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Into the end zone. The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
Under the lights at Spartan Stadium, MSU hosts the Michigan Wolverines. The 118th all-time matchup. Kickoff Saturday at 7:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want. Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think we're nearing the end of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State. I think Scott Harris trading for a half dozen pitchers at the trade deadline is officially a failure considering how the season ended. I think the Detroit Lions are going to give the Packers an astronomical revenge whooping on Thanksgiving later this year. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon, presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
We got a game, boys.
This week on Sunday Night Football.
The Green Bay Packers head to Acrisure Stadium and go head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Aaron Rodgers-led Steelers, they're 4-2. The Pack are 4-1-1. Coverage at 7:30 Sunday night, presented by Ace Hardware, downtown Midland.
Don't miss a moment right here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. Oh, man.
What's so funny, Ben?
Just every time I open up Twitter now, there's just so many good NBA memes of like, are we sure this game wasn't rigged? And it's just like some of the worst foul calls or worst missed layups you'll ever see. And I just thought it was funny, so I was laughing at it. Remember when Pat Bev showed the official the camera?
The camera, yeah.
Because that game was just absolutely ludicrous, some of the fouls that were being called on the Lakers, and there's like a whole highlight mixtape of them. I don't know how people get these together
LeBron got
so fast.
fouled on the game-winning layup, and they didn't call it.
He got hacked. There's like a whole...
That actually is the funniest clip ever, that when Pat Bev did that, because like...
the ref's like, you cannot
and
do
he just
that.
immediately teased him up, and Pat Bev obviously had to have known that was going to happen, but it was so worth it for the clip of that to happen.
Can you imagine being a camera guy and a basketball player comes up to you? It's like,
give me that camera.
Yeah, let me see the angle you got. All right, give me that, please. So good. All right, we can switch gears. Now that we're at the bye, who has been the Lions' MVP through the first 7 games of the season? I'll go first. I think it's Aiden Hutchinson, and it's rare for me to give a defensive player of the year or a defensive player an MVP, but I think he's been that impactful on the defensive side of things. 48 pressures is first in the NFL by a handsome amount. 38 is the next highest, Jared Verse, so leading by double digits in that category. He's the pressures king. Like, there's nobody that's been better at it in the NFL than him over the past season and a half. 25% win rate, that is 5th behind Myles Garrett, Danielle Hunter, Micah Parsons, and Will Anderson. He has more sacks than any of those guys with 7. He just gets better and better as the game goes on. He's got that rare, like the Watt trait, basically. TJ Watt and JJ Watt both had this, to where they get better as the game goes on. I remember there was a play specifically on Monday night where I was like, Hutchinson looks gassed. Like, they might need to give him a play off. And then the very next play, he disrupts Baker Mayfield and causes him to freak out in the pocket. He just is so relentless, and I know that word gets overused with him with the high motor, but it's just true. Like, he gets better and better as the game goes on. Everyone else gets tired, and that only makes him scarier. So I've got Aiden Hutchinson, who allows the defense and the backup defense to thrive because of all the pressure that he's generating pretty quickly on the defensive line.
Okay. Yeah, I think Hutchinson is probably the answer, so I'll zag a little bit, and I'll go to the other side of the football. I will go with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that obviously the last game was Jahmyr Gibbs' big game, and he's kind of getting all the love right now, which is totally fair. I think that Gibbs, honestly, is probably the 3rd guy off the list. But I will go with St. Brown. He's still top 5 in receptions. He's the number 1 leader in the NFL in receiving touchdowns. He's all alone with 7 touchdown catches, and he's just outside of the top 5. He's number 6 in receiving yards across the NFL. So he is still on pace to have yet another insane season this year, and is so consistent. Obviously, that Week 1 game against Green Bay had just like the 4 catches for 40 yards, and since then, it's just always going to be Goff's go-to guy, especially on 3rd down, and just the amount of big plays that he's made this year, it's obviously not a surprise to anyone. It's not like he's doing anything differently than he usually does, but I think that's why he is the MVP. He is the model of consistency on this Lions team.
He's also just the model of, like, the work ethic. Him and Hutchinson and Sewell, I think, all fit into that category of, like, be the first one there. Outwork everybody. Be the last one to leave.
Yeah.
Like, they lead by example in doing that. If I was going to pick a player on offense, I think it would be Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. I think Jahmyr Gibbs would probably be second.
Could pick Sewell, too. You know, I mean, Sewell, like, it's kind of fun to give it to the O-lineman because they never get the love in real life.
Oh, he's going to get the love at the end of the season with this Protector of the Year award.
Right.
He'll be the first and only guy to ever have it. No love for Jared Goff. Like,
first
even
and
in the
only
honorable
guy?
mentions.
They're only doing it for 1 year?
Well, only guy for now.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I think he just wins 9 of the next 10, to be honest. No
Voters fatigue. We'll get to him.
Yeah. No Jared Goff love for either of us.
I mean, is that a shock? You know, like, Goff is going to obviously be the guy that's at the top of the MVP race for the Lions in real life, but, like, I think Goff's been good this year. Like, this isn't a surprise. This is what the Lions are, you know? Like, it's the playmakers that make them truly special, and Goff just does a really good job of getting them the football.
Yeah, I think sometimes I come across as, like, a Goff hater, for lack of a better word, and that's just not the case. I just think he is an awesome driver of the boat. He drives the boat, or usually, or
Let me drive a boat.
Yeah, or from a car standpoint, like usually the lines are on the expressway. It's just on cruise control with Goff. There's very few bumps on the road. Sometimes once in a while, like, when you're falling asleep in the middle of the night, like you'll just hit the rumble strips. And you're like, oh, well, keep going. Still cruising at a consistent 75 miles an hour on the highway. That's Jared Goff driving the ship for the Lions, or driving the car for the Lions. But it's the motor, it's the wheels, it's that sort of stuff that I think makes the Lions as special as they are, So every car needs its driver. I think Jared Goff just happens to be theirs.
Calvin Shepard MVP, maybe?
Calvin Shepard MVP would be a good one, but I'm going with Aiden Hutchinson. Kyle's going with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Who you going with? 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube as well. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? Come on, help us out. Help yourself out so you can get notified every morning when we go live at 9 o'clock. Hope to see you there Monday morning. We still got an hour left together today. Want to get in some more Michigan versus Michigan State stuff because I think it's a loser leaves town match this Saturday. See you guys in a second. Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for awards members this month. It's October, so savings on all things spooky. $9.99 for an 100-count Halloween LED light string pack. And get those ghostly vibes with a giant glowing ghost inflatable, $99.99. Select Milwaukee Power Tools, buy one, get one free, including the brushless drill and impact driver kit. And get ahead of the cold. Ace brand winterizer, just $16.99.
I'm right there, coming.
Trick or treat.
Hello, children. I'm sorry. I forgot to go buy candy this year. Hey, don't be rude, okay? I'm forgetful. You're just mean. Now, hold on. I do have these 8x10 glossies of Bill Simonson and Anthony Bellino. Happy Halloween from the Great Lake Basin's home for sports. 100.9 The Mitt.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Saturday, under the lights, Michigan versus Michigan State. We sent 4 people to the game, thanks to our friends like Garber Chevrolet, each of the last 2 Wednesdays. I wish I could make it down. Have you ever been to any of these games? Michigan State?
Never been to. I've been down there, though. But I have never been to the actual game, no.
I remember going as a kid to Ann Arbor and just watching Michigan get decimated. That's the only experience I have at either of these games. But I was so young that I hardly remember it. I just remember being sad, and there's a photo of me. But nowadays, I just want a good game. I really think we're going to get one. You can call me crazy, but I think
a good game.
I think this game. Well, I got to be careful with the word good. I think we get a close game. Whether or not it's entertaining, and there's some juice, is totally debatable. But similar to last year, I think this game is close for the majority of the game. And I know you and I disagree on this. You think Michigan
I would be
State's
happy
just
if
gonna...
I'm wrong, by the way. Like, I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be one of those things that if I'm wrong, I'm gonna be all like mad about it.
No, you don't have to defend yourself to me. I know you're rooting for Michigan State. I don't have as much of a rooting interest until I make some bets tomorrow, and I'll probably just bet on Nick Marsh's score like I did last year and like I do most weeks, and it'll probably hit, and that'll be my lone bet. But what do you think about that one, Chauncey? You like Nick Marsh to score? I really think this game is close for the majority of the game, and they do not pull away until much later on, if they pull away at all. There is a formula for Michigan State to win this. I think the 14.5 is too much. I know Michigan State has looked lifeless for a couple of weeks, but this is the lone game where there should be at least some sort of shock into their system. They've got the infibullators on them and just buzz them back to life for a couple, like one quarter. That might be enough because Michigan is not built to just blow teams out of the water. I think late in the third quarter, this thing is close. It's just a matter of, is Michigan State at any point in this game, going to have some sort of response, some sort of jolt of energy where they can score a touchdown when they need to. Because like I said earlier on, I think this game is close in the third quarter. I think Michigan State hangs around because Michigan just doesn't put their opponents away early on in these games. And if Michigan State can have that jolt late in the game, they've got a chance to come out with a win. There's not a ton of X's and O's reasons why they should win this game, but more than just it's a rivalry, anything can happen. This is a freshman quarterback on the road, hostile environment, rivalry game under the lights. Those don't usually go well for freshman quarterbacks. That's my best argument for why Michigan State should be able to keep this close. Now, if I was arguing why Michigan would blow a team out or blow this team out, it's because Michigan State's defense can't stop a nosebleed. And if Michigan can get the ball rolling downhill early, maybe this ends up being a little bit of a blowout. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think this game's close down the stretch. And if Michigan covers the 14.5, it's going to be because of a late score. It's not going to be a blowout is my prediction, which I guess isn't that hot of a take, but it's what I think is going to happen in this one.
I just think when you combine the fact of Michigan State's defense is not able to stop anything, and it's going to be it doesn't really matter how Bryce Underwood plays to me personally. I think that you have the factor of it's a true freshman quarterback playing in a hostile environment under the lights. Sure, he could have a bad game, and it's not going to matter. They're going to be able to think about who's the coach of this team and the identity of this team. They're going to pound the rock against this State defense. It doesn't Bryce Underwood could throw for 100 passing yards. I think his over/under is right at 200. It's not like they're expecting him to have some huge game because they don't need him to against this defense. This isn't the USC game where they kind of need a little bit of spark in the passing game because the difference is they're not playing a good football team. That's the true issue. This is one of the easier games on Michigan's schedule. And so you combine that with the fact of what is Jayshon Barham going to do to this to Aiden Childs? What is this Michigan defensive line going to do to the offensive line of Michigan State?
Look away, kids. That could get ugly.
They are going to wreck them. We can talk about the quarterback battle and what if Childs outperforms Underwood? How does that have a effect on the game? Is Childs even going to have the chance to? This is probably the best defensive line they have played yet this season. And against an offensive line that has just been brutal. So it's not a thing where I'm I don't have the confidence in Aiden Childs. I don't have the confidence in Nick Marsh. Of course I have the confidence in Nick Marsh. I still think he's one of the best receivers in the conference.
I do too.
No doubt about that. I still think Childs has flashes to be a good college football quarterback. I don't doubt that. The issue is the rest of the roster, and you combine that with the coaching staff that clearly is people are out on. It's not just Jonathan Smith. It's the coordinators as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's Joe Rossi. This is going to be a beatdown. There's just too many signs pointing towards a blowout here, and the only signs that are pointing against it are, well, it's a rivalry game, so anything can happen. I'm kind of sick of that talk.
But I'm not even I haven't used that
I'm not
once.
I'm not saying you are. That's what a lot of I'm specifically not saying that's what you're saying because you are giving reasons why you think that. It's if you ask any Michigan State fan that still has hope, that's all their hope is. Oh, well, we remember what happened in the COVID year when State was supposed to be bad and they won. Ricky White, big game. It's just this also is just a guy that, to me, the fan base has never been this low since I've been a Michigan State follower with the football team. Going into this game against Michigan. Everybody wants this coach gone, man.
Even the second half of the second
okay,
Mel
I guess
Tucker year?
after
That
Tucker
was
got
dark.
fired, you're saying?
That was really dark.
Yeah, okay, no, you're right. Sure, that can count. But that was, I feel a little bit of different circumstances there.
Yeah.
This, that's probably in its own category. So, yes, I would agree for sure. But this year with Jonathan Smith, it's just everybody wants this guy gone. There's a new athletic director. It feels like everybody's already pointing towards who's the new coach of Michigan State going to be when they don't even have an opening at head coach currently, So it's I think there's way too many signs pointing towards a blowout here. And I do agree it could take a while for it to get to that point because that's just how Michigan plays. They don't get up 21-0 on a team right away. That's just not their identity. So I agree with you in that perspective. But I think come the fourth quarter, that's when we get to that 20-point lead by the Wolverines.
It's interesting, too, because it's two coaches in their second year with the program. It feels like the state of this rivalry, there's not a ton of bad blood right now. It's not like these two teams hate each other because it's been one-sided for the most part.
Right.
Over the past few
even Sharon Moore,
seasons.
before he was head coach, when Harbaugh was still there, it was Sharon Moore wasn't a part of the Michigan teams that were losing to Michigan State.
Mm-mm.
There's a reason why he gets all emotional for the Ohio State game and the Penn State game because those are real big rivalries that actually, I'm not saying this isn't a rivalry. Of course it is. It's State's biggest rival. It's Michigan's second biggest rival. It's an awesome rivalry. But
at some point you
been
start
like that.
Yeah, at some point when you win this many games in a row, Michigan a chance to win 4 in a row here. At some point the rivalry becomes a little bit less meaningful when one side of it is not holding up their end of the bargain because my entire childhood was always a great matchup, a season-defining game when these two guys played, partially because of the 14 playoffs and every game mattering in the regular season, but partially because it was mostly ranked matchups. And even if it wasn't a ranked matchup, Michigan State would at least put up a fight. It's not like Michigan State was ever a pushover team. And obviously once Harbaugh got there, Michigan was never anything close to that.
I mean, State had their runs they won 4 straight against Michigan with Kirk Cousins,
Right.
This stuff just does happen. There was a time when Michigan wasn't holding up their end of the bargain. And then there was a time in 2021 when it was the peak, when both teams were undefeated.
Yeah.
Both ranked inside the top 10. And it was an awesome football game. Truly, that day, that was when you talk about if you've ever been down to the game, that was when I was in East Lansing for that game. I wasn't at it, and I really wish I would have been there. But, that's one of the best football games ever to me. That is always a game I will remember no matter what, as old as I get, that 2021 Michigan State game. And then you have everything that's followed since it. It's
bad.
just
really bad.
Yeah, it just you don't have to live up to that every year because I'm talking about this game like it was the best ever, but at least make it have good games. There's been seasons where one of the teams isn't very good and it's still tight. And these last couple of years, it has not been that way.
Well, that's because even last year where Michigan State, it was a one-score game. As much as everyone, it feels like it was a blowout. Even a one-score game, you watched
State
last
scores
years
late,
game.
But yeah, I mean, it didn't feel like State ever was actually going to win the game.
Well, it also felt like Michigan was limping the entire because they
Michigan
were. It was a bad football game between two bad teams.
Yeah,
that was
that's
my biggest takeaway from last year. It was this game sucks. And I don't think it'll be quite like that this year because, again, we've seen Michigan State be able to put up points against halfway decent defenses. You did score 30-plus versus USC. Michigan didn't, right? You did score I get the UCLA game was bad. What was the other?
They put up 20 against Nebraska.
Yeah,
I mean,
at least you're scoring. It's not like the defense is bad, and that's been a problem for 5 years, and it feels like that hasn't improved at all, which is a problem. You're not landing guys in the portal. But at least we know Michigan State can score points. They're capable of connecting on big plays because they have a good quarterback who's got a lot of upside, who you're failing to protect, and also a lights-out wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean,
I really think that this game can stay close. You're not going to run on Michigan, but you're not even going to try to do it. So what does it matter?
They've also scored 13 points in each of the last 2 games. They haven't been able to score points in the last 2 games. So, And it's not like UCLA was some god-tier team. Obviously, Indiana, for sure, like, you're not going to sit here and be like, we should have scored a ton of points against the Hoosiers. But Michigan's a much better team than UCLA is.
You know what's funny is, like, I remember the last couple of years, not last year, but the year prior, I was like, this night game under the lights, this rivalry at an all-time high between the Michigan cheating stuff and, like, everything that's gone down, this game's going to be very nasty. Like, 2023, I remember being like, don't bring your kids to this game because this game is going to get nasty. It was in the middle of the cheating scandal. Michigan and Michigan State were both awesome. Like, really, really advising people that this game could get ugly under the lights. It changed the way I viewed this team. Now I feel like if there's going to be a fight, it's going to be amongst Michigan State fans who are just booing their own team. Like, they're more likely to turn on their own team than they are to start fighting the Michigan fans at this point because they're so fed up with the performance.
No, that'll still happen. You know, that will never go away.
I feel like Michigan State fans are way more upset with their own program right now to worry about fighting with other people.
It doesn't mean they still don't hate Michigan, though.
Yeah, sure they do, but I feel like they hate their own program more than they hate Michigan at this point, which is not where you want to be as a program, but it's exactly where they found themselves right now. I mean, you said it. Like, every Michigan State fan, every Michigan State person you know is dreading this game.
Right.
I don't think that's the way to view it. I think this game's going to be closer than people realize, but if that's the way that Michigan State fans are feeling after the last 2 weeks of no-life Spartans, then there is an avenue where, like, come the third quarter, people are booing their own. Like, I doubt that's ever happened. Michigan State or Michigan booing their team at home in this game, that's a real possibility on Saturday. Unfortunate for the Spartans. 989-837-6125. The 11 o'clock hour is always on the Ben Bosscher Show. It's brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and Yiter Insurance Group is here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple, with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. Yiter Insurance Group, they'll be there when you need them since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Since 1940, Yiter Insurance Group has been a trusted friend to generations of your neighbors in the Great Lakes Bay region and across the country. Proudly representing Auto Owners Insurance, we're licensed in nearly every state, so no matter where life takes you, we got you covered. And because we're an independent insurance agent, we don't believe in one size fits all. We work for you to find coverage that fits your life, your family, and your business. That's why families and businesses have relied on Yiter Insurance and auto owners for peace of mind. Yiter Insurance Group, local roots, national reach, and always your friend in the insurance business.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
A rivalry dating back to 1970. Dow Chargers versus the Midland Chemics. Chemics need a win to make the postseason. Chargers win, and they finish the regular season 8-1, first time since 2016. Midland Dow pregame coverage tonight at 6:50.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Back-to-back weeks, we are giving away tickets to Spartan Stadium. November 15th, it is Penn State versus Michigan State in East Lansing, and thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, we're sending you home with tickets, but you have to be listening to the Ben Bosscher Show for a chance to win. Again, that is Big Win Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet here on the Mitt.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we have floated out the idea of how we think these games are going to go, but let's actually give a score prediction for Michigan versus Michigan State. I think Michigan comes out on top, but I think this game ends up being close. I've got